Hello everybody, welcome to the updated review of my 2020 Zontas ZT125 U. I've now done 1,900 miles and it's absolutely fantastic. This bike is brilliant. So it has a dual overhead cam 4-valve liquid cooled engine. Has Bosch electric fuel injection here, and also it has a slipper clutch. The engine produces 10.8 kilowatts of power, which is 14.5 horsepower. It has 13 newton meters of torque. That's 9.5 foot-pounds of torque. That makes this the torquiest 125 available today. To put this into perspective, the KTM Duke 125 produces 12 newton meters of torque. The Aprilia's Tuono also produces 12. The MT produces 11.6. So gives you an idea of just how good this is. It has a 6-speed gearbox and it has ABS brakes, independent front and rear. You can see the ABS wheel there inside the brake disc on the front wheel, and also the back wheel. Also has a fully cast aluminium banana swing arm. That's a one-piece cast swing arm. Makes it nice and stiff, good for handling, and this bike has got amazing handling. It is so light. It also has 37mm upside down forks. Fantastic. Has 17-inch diamond cut wheels, which has a 110/70/17 front tyre and a 130/70/17 rear tyre. They are CST tyres. Yes, they are a Chinese brand tyre, but they also happen to be the biggest Chinese tyre manufacturer in the world, well, in China. And I believe it's the 5th biggest selling tyre manufacturer in the world. That's saying something. They are good and they are fantastic. I will be putting them on again because I will be putting Pirellis on when the time comes. But to be fair, they're fantastic. Really, really good grip. Good in the wet as well. Absolutely brilliant. What else has this bike got? Well, it's got a lovely, nice wide, for a 125 anyway, gel seat, which is 790mm off the ground, which is pretty good because I'm 6'2" and it fits me pretty well, to be fair. I do have both my feet flat on the ground, but it's comfortable when I'm riding it. It is really, really good. Nice, fairly wide bars on there, as you can see, with nice branded hand grips. It also has a full LCD dashboard. It has, see there, adjustable. Just a little adjuster there, a little, don't know if we can see that too well, the sun's a bit bright. There's a little wheel just there, which adjusts it to suit your hand size. Bike also came with these hand guards, although the lever guards I should say, which are proper solid metal ones. The hand guards, however, are off the Zontas ZT125 U, which is their adventure style bike. Basically the same bike as this, but with wire wheels, which have got rim spokes on it, so you can put tubeless tyres, and it's got a beaked mud guard off the front here and a little bit here. Basically same bike. Also the U1 also has crash bars, crash bungs. Hasn't got this at the bottom here, this belly pan, slightly different to allow for the bars, which is a fantastic bike. Goes through the number plate hanger on this, which will be changed as soon as I can get a tail tidy. But under here, don't know if we can see this, there's a little plate here. We're on the U1. It's the number plate hanger, which comes right out the back, which hopefully when there's a tail tidy available for this, I can get a nice small tidy one to open that back wheel. That's fantastic looking bike, but it's just let down by that that thing they seem to do. I wish they'd done the new one, but it's good quality. And this is proper solid. It is metal. It is not going anywhere. You know, it's got a nice little hugger on the back there as well. And there you can see the monoshock. It's got nice mirrors on it. It's fantastic and look really, really, really nice. Actually, really well moulded in to fit the style of the bike. They're lovely. However, as I found out many, many times, mirrors that look good are basically useless. If you want mirrors that work, they need to be ugly. Unfortunately, these mirrors look nice, and I have to do the usual tuck my elbow in just to see behind me. But as long as you do plenty of shoulder checks, you can live with that. So what else has this bike got? Well, it's got a great feature which I really, really like, and it's keyless, and I mean fully keyless. There's not a key anywhere for this bike. It has a little key fob. See if I can show you that. Lovely little key fob. There we go, and that is it. You get two of these, which has got a ZT125 3-volt battery in it, Panasonic, if anybody's interested. There you go, just get two of them, and you must be within 1.5 meters of the bike. So there we go, so we can get this focus. There we are, a little red button there with a lock on it. You press that and it puts the ignition on. There we go, fires up. So when I move to the front of the bike, you'll see it's got side lights are on. You can really see that, but them two little lights either side of the light there, that's the daytime running lights. Don't know if you can hear that, that's timing out. Basically, you took the ignition on, if you walk away from it too far, for too long, it'll just shut the ignition off. It can't be started. Being keyless, it's got an immobiliser, which is great. But when you do that, it means the handlebars don't lock. You have to put the handlebars to the left, and you have to press and hold the lock button once the ignition's on. So to lock it, you have to push the bars to the left, press and hold that. It'll then go through its little thing. I don't know if you heard the click there. That's the steering lock is locked. Press the button again, unlocks it, and goes into ignition on. To start the bike, you have to hold the clutch in and press the button, which I'm not going to do because I'm using a phone and I'm one-handed, so you need two hands to start this bike. It will run on the side stand, which is something I really, really love on this bike, because once I start it from cold, I will not ride away on it until the water temperature or coolant temperature has reached 50 degrees centigrade. So there you go. It's reasonably loud, and that. So underneath here we have underneath completely stainless, fully stainless underneath, which is really good for weight and balance and stuff rather than having a big pipe. That's a fully stainless exhaust system. But it's this bit you can touch even when the bike is running nice and warm at say 80 degrees. You can grab hold of this, you're not going to burn your hands on it, you're not going to melt any of your clothes on it if you accidentally lean into it, especially with like waterproofs. You can touch this, it's cold to touch, well, lukewarm to touch even when it's hot, which I like. It's hard to explain just how good the quality is on this bike. Just look in there, how good these hoses are, the connections, everything about this bike is absolutely quality. There you can see just about see the Bosch fuel injection. But even to go down to here at the foot pegs, they're just solid, absolutely solid. Rear foot pegs, again, there we go, again, just they're down, nice click when it's up, and they're solid, absolutely solid. The hangers are nice, they look nice, good, solid, just quality. Little see-through rear brake reservoir, which is, again, it's just a really nice quality, again, again with the brake reservoir for the front brake. It's just this shaped, moulded, solid metal. Absolutely fantastic quality. Everything about it. The bars, they're not cheap. Nothing on this bike is cheap. Not cheap quality. Well, the bike is cheap. It's $2,999, which is what I paid for this, plus on the road on top of that. But it's just quality. Everything on this bike is absolutely top-notch, high quality. Yes, it's a Zontas. Yes, it's a Chinese company. However, as we know, lots of Japanese bikes, 125s and some bigger, are made in China now. It also has, on the controls here, these controls are backlit. So, let's see if I can start this. So, I'll show you then. You have to have it running. So, there we go. It's going through the starter phase of the ignition. So on the dashboard there, it's got a rev counter, it's got a fuel gauge, it's got a gear indicator, it's got eco mode. So press the eco button and it goes from S to E for eco mode. Although not on S, it's 125. Why would I go eco? Has the temperature gauge and a clock. Has the trip meter there. I run it in trip because I trip it when I full tank it. There you go. Odometer 1,908 miles. Speedo, which is in miles an hour. It can be changed from kilometers to miles an hour. You've got left indicator, engine management, ABS light. You've got neutral light, high beam light, right indicator, and buttons. This changes it from trip to Odo. Press and hold that and it will reset. Press and hold this and you can set the clock. Don't know if I mentioned water temperature there, or coolant temperature. Absolutely brilliant. Right, let's go for a start. So clutch in and start the button. There we go. So just started. That good. No throttle, just sits there, ticking over. Lovely. Absolutely cool. Just a little rev up. See that? Red line is 9,000 up to 12,000. Goes up there quick. First gear, you're hitting the rev limiter so quick, 20 mile an hour, 0 to 20, and you bang on the limiter, it's within seconds. Same again with second gear. To be quite honest, probably when I replace the front sprocket, I'm going to go up a tooth. Just give it a bit more legs at the top because it gets up there so quick. In first and second and third, I can go up a gear and I'm not going to lose any grunt at the bottom end. I've had 77 miles an hour out of this bike. And I'm 6'2", massive great big air brake. With all my gear on, I weighed myself with all my gear on, and I've just touched over 19 stone. So I'm a big guy, 77 miles an hour on a hyper naked 125. Can't knock that. So also wear an adventure style helmet with a peak on it. That's a bit of an air brake. I have my big old bag on my back, so when I touch down, I've got a big air brake on my back. It's a lot of air's hitting that, slowing me down. Sixth is really more of an overdrive. First, second, third, fourth, fifth are the main gears I use. Sixth is more like I'm just cruising it. But it'll do 65 in fifth, and you've still got 6 gears. And it hits, like I say, I've had 77 out of it. Fantastic. Let's go through some of the controls on this bike. So left side. There we go. Focus. We've got high beam, flasher, we've got hazard. Indicator on the go. Hazards. Left indicator. Left indicator pushed to cancel. Right indicator pushed to cancel. Right. On the right hand side, we've got the EQ button there. We've got the lights, which is always on. Just basically side like that. Otherwise we'll get the lights red. And the start button. The lock button, unlock button. And here we have 2 other buttons. So, bottom one is the fuel cap. That's how it's keys. Press this to unlock it. We'll do a little lights on. And the seat as well. Press it. You can unlock. Move the these will unlock. And the bike's running. Fuel cap. fuel cap. There, press the button. Look at that. Under there, fuel cap. Lock. And again, with the seat, press the seat. And there we go, unlocks. Off comes this part of the seat. And under here you got this, a little cloth under there, a little bag with a couple of Oxford little straps, and also a USB cable for my phone, because this bike also has a USB charging port, which is just there. Oh, wait, focus. Right, this little thing, this little weld thing, you take that off, and there is a USB charging port under that. And the rest of the seat comes off. And there you go. And again, absolutely top drawer quality on this. The way the cables are wrapped, bike is put together, there's nothing there that isn't just quality. It is, I say, it really is good top drawer quality. If I just take my little cloth, I always keep that. And under here, now we pull this out, and this is, there we go. There you go. Oh, the bike turned itself off again. So under here, that's how I do this. There you go. Right, you take that little cap off. Right, that is the where you plug your little fault finder in there. That's your OBD2 reader. So, don't have any faults come up. That's where you plug it in. Keep a little cloth there. So I keep USB cable. There's a lot of space on there, but I've got a USB cable and these little Oxford rock, whatever they are, little straps. So I use if I need to strap anything. It's a bit difficult on this bike considering it doesn't have any tie bands on it at all. The only bugbear, apart from the number plate hanger that I have, there's no tie downs for this bike. There's no grab rails, there's nothing. It's so clean at the back here. For looks, there is nothing to hook onto. So I have a big military bag with lots of little ties on it, so I can hook things to that. Right, seat goes on. This is also very tricky until you get used to it. That bit is the easy bit. The trick is this bit. So when you press the seat button, you have this little catch here that locks. Right, ignition. Right, so when I press it, that unlocks. So there's a little solenoid under that. I'm trying to get this in, especially trying to do it one-handed. Right, it's a bloody nightmare. So you have to push down. Down and lock. Might need to hit the button. There you go. Hang on. Never mind, I'll sort that out. Yeah, it's a bit tricky once you get the hang of it. Dear me, doesn't want to go on. Probably because I've got that cap under there in the way. There we go. There we go, it's on. There we go, done it. One-handed, that's not bad. It normally takes me two hands. So what else has it got? 12.5 litre fuel tank. I get about 200 miles maybe, give or take, depending on how I ride, before I fill up again. So I go down to the last line. Once it's down to one line left on the fuel tank, or fuel gauge rather, I then fill it up. It's about £11, and I'm chucking super unleaded in it, about 130 a litre. So that's about 9.2 litres. So I get about 190, 200 miles out of that, which is well, plenty good enough for me. Absolutely brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Well, what can you say about its looks? Well, what can you say about its looks? Don't need to say anything, do I? It speaks for itself. Stunning, absolutely stunning. As you can imagine, everybody go, is that a KTM? as if KTM has trademarked orange. No, it's a Zontas. It's Chinese. And it's about £1,500 cheaper than a KTM. It's £1,500 cheaper than the Yamaha ZT125. It's about £1,000-ish cheaper than the Suzuki GSX-S. It's about £1,000 or £1,200 cheaper than the new 2021 Honda CB125R. And it's also over £1,000 cheaper by a long way than the Aprilia Tuono. So I'm only saying about naked bikes here, not the sports bikes. This is a hyper naked street bike. This is not a sports bike. Although I can tell you this bike will keep up with an RS4 Aprilia. It will keep up with a YZF, and it will keep up with a GSX, unless you get it on a dead straight road where they are fully fed and their legs are longer. But around the streets, nah, this bike will beat them. It's torquey. Biggest contender, the KTM. Is the KTM better than this bike? On the street to ride, I wouldn't say so. Has it got slightly higher spec? It's got slightly higher spec because KTM has got the TFT colour screen, and it's got Bluetooth, and it's got all the lap thing. You can turn the ABS off, all of that sort of thing. Gimmick stuff. But £1,500 better than this bike? No, none of them are. None of them are. Well, there you go. This is my Zontas ZT125 U. Go check it out.